your heart art shaman, and today I'm going to share with you a reading from my quest cards. So you were instructed to pick 1, 2, or 3 cards, just whatever cards spoke to you. And now I'm going to share with you both the intuitive message and the energy that is being called to come forth and be shared with you today, and also a quest. I'm going to give you a quest, and that quest will actually take the form of a question, and then you ask yourself that question, and your answer is your quest, is your journey. So it's an inner quest into your own heart and mind and soul. And so yeah, without further ado, let's move on to card number 1. Card number 1 is art. I very much love this card. Being an artist myself, a shamanic artist. Now it's a little hard to see in this lighting, but this color down here is meant to be orange, and that'll be much more like clear and well laid out in my official final decks that'll be ready for purchase in the near future. But this is the color orange, and orange is associated with our 2nd chakra, with our sacral chakra. And on an emotional scale, we are dealing with the emotional scale with this card of apathy moving into caring and really having feeling and meaning and purpose, rather than just not really caring either way. Like you really care a lot. That's sort of the spectrum of emotion that's associated with this card, and may reflect something that is coming up for you in your world. There may have been a space, a time of apathy and just being so potentially overwhelmed at some point that you got into this place of feeling stuck and like it doesn't really matter. And then there's a shift as we move through this emotional scale, and we begin to maybe have hope or see the light at the end of the tunnel, begin to care, begin to have things matter, and that's where things shift. And one of the most powerful tools that I know of for shifting that stuck energy is art. So this card is really calling to you to do something creative, move outside of your comfort zone, dive into new possibilities and create something that inspires you, something that makes you feel. And you know, one of my biggest things that I want to share also about this is don't think about it too much. Don't get lost in what you're going to create and how you're going to create it. Just give yourself the opportunity to get some items in front of you that you can create things with. I personally love to play with paint, and that would be a great way to go, because you really just need to feel the joy of creating and then celebrate that creation. And that is hugely powerful in moving on the scale from a place of apathy and not really caring to having so much new conviction and caring, and moving out of stuckness and into forward motion, right? So that's card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. Heal. Heal is good, and this is green down at the bottom, and this card is associated with your heart chakra. Yes. And on an emotional scale, we are really working here with fear into faith. And so if this card is coming up for you, there may have been really big challenge or the idea of challenge. You know, it could just be a mental block, because fear can really do that. Fear is where we become immobilized or have challenge in moving forward out of fear. But this is a call to allow yourself to begin to touch and get inside that fear so you can heal it. And as you get in touch with this feeling of whatever you're afraid of, and you give yourself permission to explore it, then as you move through that fear and have your faith returning, have new hope, new trust, new belief, then you can move through this and move upscale and really heal. There's a big potential here with this card coming up for there to be some powerful healing this week as you just let it in and give yourself permission. And you see there's a heart here that has cracked, and to me this kind of represents hands that are holding the heart, but you see it for however you see it, and I honor that. But these hands holding and healing this heart is what I see in this simple image. And so give yourself permission to hold yourself and to feel held and to feel nourished and to affirm that you are okay. And one of the big ways to affirm that things are healing and that you're going to be all right is to get inside of those fears. Sometimes when fear comes up, there's this tendency to not even really explore it. We just hide from it. But the more we can look at our shadows, look at the challenge, look at that unknown that we're so afraid of, the more we can get inside of it and allow ourselves to be with it and sit with it and look at it, the more we can see how to shift it, the more we can see that our light is far more powerful than whatever this is. And remember, you can call on assistance. You can call on divine assistance. You can call on angels and guides to come in and be with you and rock through this with you. And that, my dear, is how you heal. So now the third card is, light. And again, it's a little tricky with both my camera and the lighting and everything for you to really see the color here, but this color is violet. And you see there's very little in the image because that's the way light works. It brightens things, and light is something we sometimes take for granted. We don't always really see it, except we miss it when it's not there. The same can be said for just the light that lights our homes, and our light and divine light and the light that lights our souls. When that is missing, we miss it and we feel empty and we feel longing. And this card is a call back to the light in you and letting that light come in and letting that light come through. And I always love to remind people when we get a violet card that violet is forgiveness. And violet is grace. And violet is our highest victory and achievement. And violet is our source. It's also represented by the number 7. It represents our 7th chakra and our connection to source in that way. And so this card is really asking you to slow down and tune in and amplify your perception of the light that is all around you, the light that is within you, the light that pours into you and that you can call forward. And sometimes when we feel so far from the light, when we feel like we're missing this aspect in our lives, we can feel really, really shut off and really, really closed down and really, really removed from our joy. Sometimes there is a deep depression or apathy that we just get suppressed and stuck down into. But on an emotional scale, we are dealing with enthusiasm here, and all of the levels of enthusiasm and joy are accessible as we tap into this energy of our 7th chakra, of the violet light. And so the call really that I'm just hearing loud and clear is encourage them to let it in. Let in your light. Let in the light of the universe. Let in the light of all of the angels and guides and ascended beings and fairies and fae folk that are here to bless and give to you. This light is your nourishment. This light is your food. This light is what illumines your eyes and helps you do your work in the world. So let it in. It's time. And if you've felt blocked off, then now it's time to imagine breathing through the top of your head and letting this energy in and being grateful for it. You have so much light and so much to give. Well, it's been a pleasure gifting this to you. I hope that you have received something from it. Please feel free to private message me with any questions, or if you would like a more in-depth personal reading. I do a much more in-depth live reading that involves the whole compass, north, south, east, and west, and the different aspects of what's going on in our world and ways to have greater clarity and move forward. I have a lot of tools and tips for that I would love to share with you. So feel free to message me if you choose, and have a beautiful and blessed day. Oh.